Hi, I hope you're doing well. Well, today I want to share a little bit about still working with God through all the seasons, right? And did you know that you could be at the center of God's will and still go through a stormy season? Like you could be doing exactly what God has instructed you to do, but still experience a stormy season or go through the fire. Because just like Paul said in First Corinthians 16:19, he says, um, "For a great and effective door has opened to me, and there are many adversaries." Right? And I know for some of us here have gone through that season, or maybe you are in that season where you feel like you're supposed to get to some point, like there is a point where you're supposed to get. There is a door that is supposed to be opened, but it feels like there is a great resistance. And Paul here is saying, "For a great and effective door has been opened to me, and there are many adversaries," right? So, some great doors and effective ones will come with great resistance. I'm not saying all of them, but I'm saying some. So, just because you're facing resistance, it doesn't mean that God is not with you. Just because that door has come with great resistance, it doesn't mean that you've wronged God or you've done something wrong, right? Because I feel like we are more um, into good seasons, and we always feel like God only visits you, or things only work when you're in good season, or God only visits you when you're in those good season alone. But you can be divinely visited even in the stormy season, even when you're walking through the fire, because the word of God says that you will go through the fire and it will not burn you, right? When you look at the story of the one that Jesus walking on water, from Matthew 14:22 to 33, the disciples of Jesus were following his instructions. He told them to get into the boat and go to the other town where they will meet, right? So they were following exactly the instructions of Jesus. But they faced a boisterous wind in the sea, right? But they were following instructions from Jesus himself. It's not like they were outside of his will, no. They were doing exactly what they were supposed to do. So here, when they reached to the other side of the town where they were going, right? We see what happened. The great healing that happened, even without Jesus preaching or touching anyone or praying for anybody. Because the people said, if we are asking that we could only touch your garment. So that was an effective door. The healing that happened without Jesus praying or laying hands on anybody, it was an effective door. But the resistance that they faced was the boisterous wind in the sea. So imagine if they had given up and turned the boat around just because of that boisterous wind, just because of the resistance that they were getting from the boisterous wind in the sea. And we also see in the same story where they thought Jesus was the ghost, and Peter, oh, our man, he said, "If it is you, Lord, bid me to come." And Jesus told him to come, right? And we see that the first steps that he took, he was looking right at Jesus. Peter walked on water. But the Bible still goes on and says, when he saw the storm, the wind was boisterous, he started to sink. Meaning, the moment Peter shifted his focus from Jesus to the wind, to the storm, he started to sink. And the sinking wasn't like a one-time thing, like, no, it was gradual. The more he focused on the wind, the more he was sinking. That's why he was able to say, "Jesus, save me," right? So, what I'm trying to say here is that no matter what you're going through, don't focus on the stormy seas. Don't focus on the boisterous wind. Don't focus on the resistance that is at that door. Rather, you need to focus on Jesus. The Word of God says, focusing on Jesus, the author and perfecter of our faith. The more you focus on Jesus, the more your faith is sharpened, the more your faith gets stronger, the more you keep getting closer to Him and knowing that no matter what is happening, the Lord is with me. But when you shift your focus from the problems that you're having, you will dwell in them. So let's focus on Jesus. Focus on the Word of God. Focus on what God has already said. For a great and effective door has been opened to me, and there are many adversaries. Imagine Paul was in prison preaching the Word of God, but he was in prison. So focus on Jesus. God bless you so much. May He give you the strength. May He give you the grace to sustain you through all that season that you're going through. And I'm here to tell somebody that it is well. Because whatever the devil has meant for evil, God will use it and turn it into good. And we have to always know that all things are working out for good. So God bless you so much and have a wonderful day.